On this video, we're going to compare the LG Nano75 to the Sony X80J. Now, the reason that I'm filming all these comparison videos now is because I'm preparing for the 2022 models and I'm looking to cycle these out. So I'm going to give you guys a lot of videos that you can use as a reference later on in the year when I no longer have these televisions. The second thing I want to mention, the reason I put all these TVs in standard mode is because that is something common in all TVs. And I will tell you that you can get a better picture if you purchase one and go through all the adjustments. So again, this is a comparison video. The third thing I want to talk about is a lot of people asking me to calibrate television. Well, I do have software and adapters to do that. However, I don't really want to show any type of calibrations on my channel yet just because I'm not a trained expert, but to let you guys know, I have access to the full CalMin calibration suite that I've been testing offline. With all that being said, sit back and relax and let's get started. First thing we're going to talk about is the screen. Both TVs are 43 inch. They both have IPS panels. They both have 10 bits with 8 bits and 2 bits of frame rate control. And both TVs use direct LED backlights. Now, one advantage that the Sony has over the LG is that it supports Dolby Vision where the LG does not. When it comes to motion, the LG uses True Motion with 120 Hz frequencies, and the Sony uses Motion Flow XR with 200 motion flow technology. And in my opinion, after doing some motion tests, I do believe that the LG is a lot smoother than the Sony, even though the Sony has a higher refresh rate. Here's a look at the remote controls for both televisions, and some of the things that stands out is that both TVs have a number pad, a navigation key in the center, and they both have hotkeys to go directly to applications. Some of the highlights about the Sony remote control is that it does have Google Voice Command. Additional to that, the things you can't do with it is you can't program this to operate a non-HDMI CEC device except for certain cable boxes or satellite boxes. Now, on the other hand, the LG, this is the magic remote control. It has this scroller in the center, which is pretty cool. You also can program this one to work with Google, Alexa, and yes, both TVs do work with Apple AirPlay and HomeKit. Another advantage about the remote control that comes with the LG is that you can use the interface to program this to operate just about any type of other products outside of LG by using the TV interface. In addition to that, it has an on-screen pointer, so you can move this around and control it just like a mouse. Here's a look at the back panel of both televisions, and they can easily be mounted on the wall. However, the Sony does require that you use these special screws to put into the hole. In my opinion, I have no clue why Sony made it this way. They should have just made it where you can just screw your mounting bracket right on the back with no extra adapter required. So after watching that demo, in my opinion, the colors look almost identical, but what really stood out is the dark levels on the LG compared to the Sony. Well, it's due because the nanocell uses a filtration system to not only purify the colors, but it also helps make the black levels just a little bit better. And when it comes to connectivity, the Nano75 has 2 USBs, an Ethernet connection, 3 HDMI 2.0s for 60 Hz performance, a fiber optic output. It also has the ATSC 2.0 TV tuner, so if you hook up an over-the-air antenna, you can get local stations, and in some case, it will support up to 1080p HD resolution. Plus, it does have Bluetooth 5.0, and it does support Wi-Fi. And when it comes to the connectivity on the Sony X80J, it has 2 USB, it has an Ethernet connection, 4 HDMI 2.0, it has an AV composite input that requires an adapter, a fiber optic output, a headphone output, and it has an ATSC 3.0 tuner, and this is ready for 4K over-the-air programming with an antenna in the future coming to a city near you. Plus it does have Bluetooth 4.2 and it does have Wi-Fi built right in. Before we dive into more picture tests, I just want to show you guys that demo so again you can see those black levels, but let's talk about the design of the television. So looking at both TVs from the side view, you can see that both TVs have direct backlight, so they're going to be a lot thicker than most televisions. Now for me, looking at the frame, the LG looks more premium compared to the Sony, which is a lot more bulkier. And on the bottom of the LG television, you can see the logo. However, the menu button's in the center of the TV. And when it comes to the Sony, the logo is in the center and you can get through the menu with the press button below the logo. Now, when it comes to the operating system, the Sony uses Google TV, which is a great interface overall. It does have limitations, but it does have a robust application store. It also has built-in Chromecast, so you can send your applications from your phone right over to the television directly. Additional to that, there's plenty of picture settings and adjustments that you can make anytime you want to get the best picture and performance out of this television. When it comes to LG, it uses WebOS 6.0, which is a lot more intuitive. If you think about it, Sony makes TVs, Google makes software, LG makes TV, and they make the software, so it's going to interface with the television much better, like automatic settings. So if you go into gaming mode and play games like Dirt 5, it's going to automatically switch all the settings for you, and there's no need to go back into the menu and switch it over to enhance or anything like that. And on the Sony, if you plug in a gaming console or anything that's 4K, the TV will automatically detect it, but just in case it didn't, you have to go back into your inputs and tell it that you're using a 4K device, which should be an automatic thing, I would think. Let's do a little gameplay and then we'll look at some of the contrast tests. The interesting thing is putting both TVs in SDR gaming mode. It looks like the Sony went more to a warmer look where the LG kept its cool look, and I prefer the cool over the warm, but I think it's a personal preference. So here we have some contrast tests that I put together for you guys, and I will tell you that both TVs are back into standard mode. Now I can tell you that you can adjust the Sony, and just like some other TVs I filmed, these TVs are also lacking that different levels of grayscale whenever you get into the white levels. So the black levels are really good, but again, that white level, there's no separation from the different tones of gray, which I like to see more on these type of televisions. The next thing I want to show you guys was a blooming test, and you can see using the logos bouncing around the screen that both TVs did a fairly good job considering that they're IPS panels. And for this last test, I want to show you guys viewing angles, and clearly the LG is the winner here. If you look at the Sony, you can see the backlights in it, and that's going to be a nuisance for you, especially if you're watching any type of dark movie. You're more than likely to see a lot more gray coming through the pictures than being solid black. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series of comparing televisions one against another. Now, the last thing I'll tell you guys is that I'm not looking for fair comparison. What I'm looking to do is show you guys two TVs in any kind of scenario and how they look compared side by side, because at the end of the day, when we go to the store, we're seeing everything with 4K content on it, so it looks beautiful, but peeling back the curtains and looking how the TV really performs is what this series of videos are all about. Now, I know some TVs that I'm going to do in the future may not match up, but again, this is just to compare them to show you guys the possibility of what TV might be better than the other one. In the comments below, I'd love to see what you guys think. If you owned a television or thinking about getting one, what persuaded you to buy it? And are you happy with it is really the big question, because making these videos is all about making you guys happy, because that's why I do what I do. Now, as a bonus, as soon as I do my outro, I'm going to play a quick little montage so you guys can see some more picture tests of some demo footage I had left over. I'm Tech Steve. Make sure you go and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!
text to you.